El pluscuamperfecto. Esto suena complicado, ¿no? Pero no lo es. The name of this tense sounds really complicated, but the tense itself really is not that complicated. It is a compound verb tense, meaning it has more than one part. And you're going to use it to talk about what someone had done in the past. Remember that in grammar, perfect means completed or finished. So the name in English, pluperfect, it's like it's plus perfect, it's more than perfect. It happened before some other point of reference in the past, so further in the past. So if you think of the story of Atzimba, they realized and she fainted. Which one happened first? Well, she fainted. So that's why you're able to say, they realized that she had fainted. Her fainting happened further in the past than them realizing. To form the pluperfect, you will need the verb, the helping verb, haber, and you really know only one form of haber so far, and that's I. You know it in a couple of different tenses, había, hubo, habrá. Haber, though, is a helping verb, and here are all the conjugations in the imperfect. Había, habías, había, same as first person singular. Habíamos, habíais, habían. So that's the had part, and what will follow is the whatever you've done. And that's the past participle, and that will be formed by going to the verb stem, which, for instance, with the verb to faint, desmayar, if we take off the AR, we add ado, desmayado. Now, desmayarse is a reflexive verb, so when you say she had fainted, ella se había desmayado. I had fainted, me había desmayado. The desmayado will not change. It doesn't have to match the fact that it's a woman or a man, that there's more than one person. So if you say that they had fainted, que ellos se habían desmayado. For ER and IR verbs, you're going to be adding ido to the verb stem. So, had lived, we would take vivir, take off the IR, add ido, vivido. So, she had lived, había bebido. We had lived, habíamos vivido. There are some irregular past participles, and those past participles you learned last year when you learned the present perfect to say what you have done. Abrir, to open, has an irregular past participle of abierto. So she had opened her eyes, ella había abierto. Cubrir, to cover, so to say covered, cubierto. They had covered the cave. Habían cubierto la cueva. Descubrir, you can see cubrir as part of it, descubierto. Cristóbal Colón había descubierto. Christopher Columbus had discovered. Now if you look at the rest of the verbs, many of them, you are used to them being irregular already. So with the verb decir, it is going to be dicho. Escribir is escrito. Hacer is hecho. So the Indians asked themselves, what they had done. Que habían hecho. Morir is going to sound familiar to you. Muerto. It can be a noun too, like Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, but it can function as a past participle as well. So, they had died. Habían muerto. Poner, to put or to place, is puesto. So, puesto would be placed. Resolver is to resolve. Resuelto. Romper is to break. Roto. Ver is to see, so seen. Visto. Nunca lo había visto antes. She had never seen him before. And volver is vuelto. Some other past participles which don't quite follow the rule, they're spelling changers, are verbs that end in AER, EER, and the verb oír. What's different about them is all of them will have an accented I when you add the ido. Otherwise it would form a diphthong and you'd be saying oído. And I want you to say oído and leído. Traído. So they had read, habían leído. We had brought, habíamos traído. The hail had fallen, había caído. Ahora, unos ejemplos. So let's try some examples so you can see how this works in a sentence. They called the doctors because she had fainted. Ellos llamaron a los médicos porque ella desmayarse is to faint. Don't worry about the desmayar right now, the say right now. Don't worry about it being reflexive. If you look up at your forms of haber, you're going to see that you need había. And then desmayar, we take off the AR. We add ado, desmayado. And it's reflexive, so que ella se había desmayado. She had never seen him before that. So the seeing him happened further in the past than whatever they're referring to with that. Ella nunca, him after a verb, lo, and then had seen, that's ver, is to see. So which form of ver do we need for she had? Which form of haber do we need for she had? Ella nunca lo había. And ver is an irregular one. We can't say veído. It's visto antes. They talked to a guanga because they had fallen in love. So they fell in love. They talked to a guanga. They fell in love further in the past than they talked to a guanga. Ellos le hablaron, they talked to him, a guanga, porque se, because it's they had fallen in love, they had enamored themselves of each other. Ellos se habían enamorado. And the se represents the each other. Porque se habían enamorado.